Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we will be focusing a bit more on understanding async and what is the difference between synchronize and asynchronize. All right, so this is very important, especially if you want to work like build big projects, like have a back end that can communicate with the front end. So if you have actually logged into a basic website, you will see that sometimes JavaScript freezes a bit while it's loading. So that happens when information is being grabbed from the backend to the front end by something we call async, right? So let's take a look at the difference between synchronize and asynchronize. And let's see. So let's start off with the basics of synchronize. So synchronize basically is JavaScript waiting, right? It's going to wait line by line and nothing's going to move until the current task is done. Okay, so yeah, that's synchronize. And then asynchronize is basically JavaScript will continue, but it will come back later to sort of display the information that we were waiting for. So JavaScript will keep on going while something else is loading. But let's just get into a bit of practical coding so we can see exactly what we are talking about. So let's say let's log out something on the console. So let's say that we are starting. So this is the start. Okay. So this is the start right here. And we'll have a function. So this function is just going to be something that's slow, like a slow task, exactly. Okay. And this task is just going to be a for loop that's going to print out so this is just going to print out numbers from 0 to 100 million, for example. Okay, so yeah, we're not gonna return anything here. Okay, that's good. So now what we can do is we can just call the function so we can see it, and we can just console log that this is the end. So what's going to happen here is we're going to have a function. So JavaScript, once we run this, JavaScript will first print out this line, and then it will come to the function and it will print this out. And then after printing that out, then it will print out this one, and then at the end, right? So what we'll see here is we'll see exactly this step. It will print this one out, and it will wait, and then it will print this out, right? So let's see. Let's save this and run it. So node async.js. See, nothing happened. So it was moving async, right? It was synchronized. I meant to say. So here we will see that JavaScript will run line by line like I showed you, and it will print start, and then it will get stuck a little bit in the slow task, and then only after it finishes with the slow task function it will print end. So everything has to wait for that one function to finish. So imagine if this was we had to wait for longer minutes or longer seconds, it will wait forever, like a whole 10 minutes waiting. So yeah, that's everything we need to know about synchronize. And it's not the best way to do things. Okay, so the best way to do things is when we use async. So let's take a look at async and see how we can actually make this whole thing a bit better. All right, and this is where we actually start to use something called promises, right? But for now, let's just focus on async. So we'll have a console.log again, where we'll have a start. So this is start. And let's set a timeout right here. We will have an arrow function, and we'll just console.log that console.log this is going to show later. Okay, now this is good. And we're just going to display this after 2 seconds. And we're going to log out the end. Okay, so this will work as a form of asynchronous. Okay, so what will happen is JavaScript will run this first line. After running this first line, it'll come here and it'll have to see if we can run this timeout or should it wait. Let's see what's going to happen. See, there we go. There we go. You see, so it did not wait for everything for this function here to print out. It continued. Okay, so this is the difference between async and synchronize. So this is where promises actually come into play. So let's comment this out and let's get into promises. So what is a promise? So a promise in JavaScript is basically saying that, listen, I promise I'll give you the results that you want later. Okay, and it can either be resolved, meaning that it's been successful, or it can be rejected, meaning that something went wrong. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So let's say we have again no, okay, so we just need a promise, which is going to be a new promise. And remember, it has 2 parameters, which is resolve and reject. Okay, and this is going to be an arrow function. Let's set the timeout function again. We'll use an arrow function. Now, if everything has been successful, then we should see text saying that data is received. And just wait for like 2 seconds also. And let's just promise that promise.then we get the result. Arrow function. This should be inside here. Okay. Okay, so we're going to get the result, and inside our result, we're going to console.log the result. So we essentially passing through the promise, this promise here. We're passing it through the result so that we can be able to display it. This is what it generally means, right? Yeah. So let's run this and see what's going to be happening. New resolve. Okay. Okay, let's see. Then we get data received. All right, so that's a promise. That's basically how we can use a promise to solve our async. So a promise is async, right? It will run, but it will have to continue without waiting for the rest of the application to process. So JavaScript will just keep on running until we are good, right? So yeah, this is it for this video.